Much, Steve, and leading tonight, obviously, with the CFL. Those in the know and some even not in the know will tell you that the death of the Montreal Alouettes of the CFL has certainly been written on the wall for quite some time. No question about that. Written in red ink, for that matter, if you want to get a little bit more specific. The club, once a flagship of the league, has had its problems. No question about that. As a matter of fact, since the early 80s, it has not been a flagship. It has been a sinking ship. Losing $17 million in the last 5 years, believe it or not. The franchise is being mourned by some, but the demise of the franchise is being hailed by others. Kevin Newman has this report.
The equipment boys gathered up the Alouette duffel bags and tossed them out of the locker room for good. New helmets for a new season never had a chance to get scratched.
We're effectively have ceased operations. We regret very much that we haven't been able to establish in the public's mind that we're worth supporting.
That's because the men in the red, white, and blue Montreal jerseys spent most of their time in the 1980s watching other teams carry the ball. For every game they won, they lost 3 more. Predictably, attendance dropped. Losses totaled $18 million. For the coming year, the team sold 4,000 season's tickets. They needed 11,000 at an absolute minimum.
I'll be sorry to see the Alouette fade away.
Some of the players reported for work this morning expecting to practice. Instead, they were told to clear out their lockers, leaving with garbage bags full of personal belongings and their cleats in hand. A special draft will be held Friday, where some of the players may find work with other CFL teams.
You know, sometimes life doesn't quite pan out the way you want it to all the time.
Well, it's tough. I still think that the people out there want to see a team here.
The remaining 8 CFL teams disagree.
Football in Montreal is dead, and let's face it.
Concerns that may become true elsewhere prompted a news conference in Toronto, where the CFL commissioner and others claim the Alouettes' demise will strengthen the league.
We're going to be stronger financially because Montreal has been a drain.
Coming down in my car, I heard the news.
At Winnie's Bar on Montreal's chic Crescent Street, the regulars regret losing a favorite topic for debate. Irving Bookbinder had Alouettes season's tickets for 30 years. The team, he believes, failed to change as Quebec changed.
Because it's always been basically a sort of an English-inspired sport rather than French fandom. And they just couldn't get the fans to come down to see it.
The first football game in Canada was played in Montreal at McGill University. 119 years later, there is no professional football in Canada's second-largest city. There's already talk of a new community-based team or an NFL franchise here, but $18 million in losses in 5 years means few will come forward to take the risk. Kevin Newman, Global News, Montreal.
The folding of the Alouettes forces all the remaining 8 teams in the league to adjust to a certain degree. Mike Lonsborough has this report on the reaction of the Calgary Stampeders to today's announcement.
Most people were shocked when they heard the Montreal football franchise would fold. Stampeder General Manager Earl Lunsford made some interesting comments. He said the CFL would be better off, saying, "We are now stronger than we were yesterday now that Montreal has folded."
I think it'll improve our league to going down to 8 teams, making the playoffs equal in terms of 2 4-team conferences. I think that's a good thing. And I say naturally, I think I'd like to sell BC coming in here next Wednesday as opposed to Montreal coming in here because they're in our conference as one of the teams we're going to try to make the playoffs over, and I think that that's a better sell.
One Stampeder once close to the scene is offensive lineman Rob Smith, who played with the Concords. He says he had seen some tough times but thought it was all over for the most part. This came totally unexpected.
Shocked. I guess anytime you hear of news that could indirectly destruct the league, you know, altogether, you're going to be, first reaction is going to be shock, and mostly it's deep sympathy for the players that are involved with that franchise.
One of the inconveniences now facing the Calgary Stampeders will be the adjustment of the schedule. They were supposed to be at home to Montreal on Wednesday. They now have to travel to Edmonton on Saturday. So with this short notice, what will happen as far as the starting quarterbacks go? Will it be Rick Warman ahead of Rick Johnson? Well, Coach Bob Vespasiani will not show his hand. He is refusing to do all interviews with anybody in the media. At McMahon Stadium, this is Mike Lonsborough for News First Sports.
Adieu, Alouettes. A grand old team runs out of downs. We'll ask 3 CFL veterans what went wrong in Montreal.